You read the title right. Weights are holding you back from getting gains. So I'm gonna go over all the things that you're doing currently right now that's holding you back with weights. Now, it's very important that you watch this video till the end because I'm sure everyone can relate to some of the things that I'm gonna go over. One of the major problems I see with people using weights is that they're not really using the muscles that they need to contract in order to get the benefit of the weights. Because it's been drilled in our head that we need heavier weight, bigger numbers. How much do you bench? That's been told to us for so long. So our mentality, especially for beginners, is that we need to just lift heavy weight by any means necessary. And the reality is that's really not going to get you gains. If you really want gains with weights, you really need to learn how to do the movements correctly. So that way you're using the muscles to actually do the exercise. For instance, as I show you here with a bench press, this is the most common exercise that a lot of people see, and at the gym, I see a lot of people making mistakes with this. So what they're doing is they're shrugging up their traps, they're making sure that their shoulders are high, and they're just pushing off their shoulders. They're not actually contracting their chest. So if you're doing a bench press and you get up and you start rubbing your shoulders, that's an indication that you're doing it wrong. And the more weight you put on, the more that's gonna hurt you. What's happening is that you're using all your tendons, and tendons are very strong, and you're using all those tendons that hold up your shoulders. And over time, you can develop a serious shoulder injury if you don't do it properly. So here's the right way to do it with weights. What you're gonna do is you're gonna keep your traps down, you're gonna keep your elbows in, and you're gonna go slowly, and you're really gonna feel pushing off your chest. That's the next thing that you need to remember. When it comes to getting gains, you really need to feel that mind-muscle connection with the exercise that you're doing. So it's not only just about doing the exercise, it's knowing what muscles that you're working out. So make sure that when you're doing those exercises, you're focusing on the muscle that you want to develop. Now, another reason why weights are holding you back from gains is that if you're doing them improperly and you're not having either a good trainer or you're not really looking at the anatomy of the body when it comes to contracting those muscles, when you're doing them improperly, you're more prone to injury. And when you have injuries, you can't work out, which in turn prevents you from getting gains. Now, a common injury when it comes to working out with weights is shoulders. There's a lot of overhead movements that people do improperly. For example, a military press or a shoulder press. As I show you here, this is what most people do. They grab the bar, they get as wide as possible, and then they just push up as hard as they can. And some people even do it behind the neck, which is a big no-no. What you want to do is you actually want to keep your elbows in and you want to go forward and away from the body. And that way you can really focus on the front part of the shoulder, what the exercise is intended for. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of resistance bands. The reason is you can get more range of motion. So you can be able to stretch out a little bit further than you normally would, and you can contract more than you normally would. So if you're a person who really is serious about working out, I would highly recommend using resistance bands, especially for your beginners out there, because resistance bands is really going to help you with your form. Here's an example where resistance bands really help you. Now, when you're doing, let's say, a bicep curl, everyone likes bicep curls. But the problem is most people are doing it incorrectly because what's been drilled in our head by adding more is better. It's adding more with proper form is better. So here's an example when you're doing a curl with a bar and you're using a lot of momentum. And with that momentum, it's not really helping you develop that form that you need to have the stability to really develop those biceps. So I'm gonna show you right here, I'm gonna slow down the video. As you can see, as I start off with this bicep curl using a lot of momentum, it's really tough at the bottom, but because I'm in this swinging motion, it makes it so that I'm using a momentum to close it. It's almost like it's suspended in air, and I'm not actually using the rest of my bicep. I'm letting gravity take over for me, and that's not helping you gain those big biceps that you want. So here's a proper way to do it with weights. What you want to do is remain stable, and that way you're only using your bicep to come up and down, and that's going to be a lot better. But the best way that I recommend is actually using a resistance band. And I'm gonna show you why. It's because when you're using a resistance band and you start at the bottom, it's tough, just like how it is as a weight. But as you go up, all the way, it actually gets tougher, giving you more of a contraction. And this is really going to help you get those big biceps. Your biceps are going to be screaming with actually lighter weight on a band than using a lot of momentum and not really working out your bicep. Now, one concept when it does come to weights that also are going to apply to resistance bands is that you will need to have good resistance, because over time your muscle will get stronger and you will need to add more resistance. And with that, I highly recommend these bands by Toro bands because they have up to 350 pounds of resistance. They're some of the best bands I ever tried. And the good thing is, if you're watching this video, I have a link in the description. It's going to give you an exclusive offer that's going to give you a great deal. Not only that, I'm doing a giveaway real soon. So if you're interested in the giveaway, make sure you watch my Toro bands review video so you'll know exactly what to do to enter in the giveaway. So now that you know why weights are holding you back from your gains, I highly recommend that you go down and look at some of my videos. My channel is dedicated to great form and great technique. I have plenty of videos that's going to show you where to stand, how you should feel, and all these things will help you get results. A lot of years I spent wasting my time doing a lot of caveman stuff when it comes to working out, using a lot of momentum, loading a lot of weights, and I feel like I'm not the only one out there. So learn from my mistakes, and I'm telling you, if you watch these videos and you really pay attention and focus on the form and technique, I guarantee you'll see results. So make sure you go ahead and watch these videos next and go ahead and work out. All right, you're still here? Go ahead and work out. Go!